watching Inside Thunder Basketball with Darnell Mayberry. I'm Mike Sherman, Sports Area of the Oklahoman, here with Thunder beat writer Darnell Mayberry, and we're talking about the Oklahoma City Thunder, which has hit its first rough spot since late January. Darnell, just so happens to coincide with the biggest homestand of the season. What's going on?
Well, the defense is the thing that you have to look at. This team has really allowed teams in 5 of the past 11 games to shoot 50% or better from the field. That's not how the Thunder built its success earlier this season. When it was playing well, it was holding teams down in the low 40s percentage-wise. Teams are now scoring in the hundreds. They're shooting 48% or better, and the defense has just really fallen apart in the last couple of weeks. So until they get back to that, I think we're going to see a little bit more struggles from the Thunder.
Darnell, let's talk about why. Is it effort or is it fatigue?
Well, I think the team is just really inconsistent right now. They've played 69 games. It's been a long season, so these guys are young. You always hear about the excuse they're young, they have young legs, they can run all day. But Russell Westbrook debunked that theory a couple weeks ago back when we were in Minnesota. He said, look, we get tired just like everyone else. And I think right now there is a little bit of fatigue going on. This team, for the most part, all season hasn't played with this sort of inconsistency throughout the year. And, when we see guys, this team going up to Charlotte and blowing a 19-point lead, that's a bad sign. When you go into Indiana and lose by 20, your worst loss of the season, or your second worst loss of the season, that's not a good sign. So they need to get back to defense, and they need to play with consistent effort and intensity.
Thunder's lost 3 out of 4. That third loss was Monday night against San Antonio Spurs. A really good game, but another game they played without James Harden. James Harden's a reserve and a rookie, Darnell, but they've lost. They're 3-3 without him.
Yep.
And before that, they had won like 10 out of 15 with him. What's the impact of James Harden's absence?
Well, I think we saw it a little bit last night against San Antonio. You had Thabo Sefolosha taking what would have been a game-winner three-pointer instead of a guy like James Harden, who's one of your best three-point shooters on the team, even though he's been up and down over the last month and a half. James Harden is a guy who can create more plays for you offensively and hit the three ball with some sort of consistency. So when you don't have those two factors in your lineup, I think you're really going to struggle a little bit offensively.
Darnell, Wednesday night, the Houston Rockets come to town. The big homestand continues. It's Houston on Wednesday, the Lakers on Friday, and then Sunday, the Portland Trailblazers. The Thunder, let's take Houston first. The Thunder's 0-3 against Houston this year. What makes the Rockets such a tough matchup for Oklahoma City?
Well, first of all, they have quick and crafty point guards, Kyle Lowry and Aaron Brooks. Aaron Brooks is probably going to be the most improved player this year. He's averaging right at 20 points per game. He's a handful for Russell Westbrook, one of the only guys who might be faster than Russell Westbrook on the court with the ball in his hands and without the ball in his hands. So he creates a lot off the dribble for the Rockets. They've also got some pit bull defenders. You got Trevor Ariza, Shane Battier, who is out. He's not going to play tomorrow night, so that's going to help the Thunder. But then you have some interior guys and Luis Scola. They got some really tough matchups, guys who really do the dirty work, and they're going to play for 48 minutes no matter what. The Thunder, until they can match the Rockets' intensity for 48 minutes, are going to continue to struggle with them.
Finally, Darnell, we've been talking about the last 14 games of the season for a long time now, how critical they're going to be. Well, it's turned out that they look a little tougher now. Is the Thunder's spot in the playoffs at all in jeopardy?
No, you look at the teams behind them, New Orleans, Memphis. I don't think they're going to have enough wins down the stretch to get into the final 8th, 7th slot in the postseason. I think the Thunder will maintain its pace and win enough games to get its first postseason appearance.
Thanks, Darnell. That's all for this edition of Inside Thunder Basketball with Darnell Mayberry, but you can stay with the best coverage team anywhere, every day at News OK and every morning in the Oklahoma.